Okay, welcome everyone. Welcome at home. I feel like I haven't done a recorded one for a while because last week we were in person and then I was away before that, so it feels like ages since we were actually recording it. Very small group today. I don't know. So let's sit up tall. Let's start. Oh, I need to go on Do Not Disturb. There we go. So sitting up nice and tall, let's draw the ribs in, relax the shoulders, and think of the top of the head reaching for the ceiling. If it helps you to bring your hand to your head and push a little bit into that to get taller, you could do that. You want to stay tall, relax the arms, and then we can let that upper back rest against the chair. And let's drop the chin a little bit. And maybe draw the elbows back towards the waist so your arms are hanging nice and heavy. And just take a moment to gather yourself here today. Getting a sense of how you're feeling. Maybe you're feeling nice and relaxed because you just did Tai Chi, or you had a big lunch, or you rushed in, whatever happened before now. Let's just put it aside and take a couple of minutes to focus on our breathing. We'll try to breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Let's bring the hands to the belly and maybe one to the chest. As you breathe in, feel the expansion forward, and as you breathe out, that relaxation. So it's okay if you don't feel your body moving, but at least think about your ribs expanding, your belly softening and expanding, and then relaxing as you exhale. Don't force it. It doesn't have to be a really big breath. And keeping your hands there, I want you to focus on your back ribs, and you might feel them touching the chair. So think about breathing into those back ribs and gently pushing them out as you breathe in, and then relaxing as you breathe out. Let's do a few breaths like that, focusing on the back of the body. And let's bring the hands to the sides of the ribs, so just above your waist, anywhere there is fine. Just so you get that contact, and as you're breathing in, think about the ribs expanding sideways. And relaxing as you breathe out. And again, it's okay if you can't feel that movement, but I want you to think about those ribs widening. Let's slide one hand up towards the collarbone and one hand lower down towards the pubic bone. And imagine when you breathe in, you can get taller. You can make a little bit of space between each of your vertebrae. And then relaxing and getting shorter again. Breathing in to lengthen. And breathing out. Let's do a couple more breaths like that. And then you can either relax the hands back to the thighs, or you can let them rest around your belly button. You're going to think about breathing in all those directions, expanding forward and back, sideways and lengthwise. And let everything relax as you breathe out. Almost like there's a little balloon inside and it's expanding in all directions. So breathe in and then everything relaxes. Do 2 more breaths like that. And then let your breathing return to its normal pattern. Don't think about doing anything in particular. And now with your breath, we'll start moving the head. So you can keep your eyes closed if you like, or you can open them. As we breathe in, we'll lift the chin. And then slowly breathing out, let the neck lengthen as you lower that chin towards the chest. Take the whole breath to get to that end point. Breathing in to lift. And breathing out to lower. So one that. And then we'll finish up back in the center, still maintaining our good posture. And we'll begin to turn the head. So next time you breathe in, let's turn the head towards the right. And breathe out back through the center. And then switching to the other side. So I think that's a different breath than we usually do. I think I normally breathe in as I come back to the center. So you could try different breath. And we'll turn our head once more to each side. Trying to make that movement really smooth. So I'm going to try to not build too much heat today since it's getting hot outside. So we'll move slowly and we'll take lots of rest. So let's lift the shoulders up towards the ears. A big shrug. And then slowly lower down. Let's do that a couple of times. Bring the ears up like a turtle hiding in its shell. And then the turtle's lifting its head up out. Let's do 2 more. Let's make some circles. So you can keep your hands down or you could bring your hands to your shoulders. Bringing them forward. So as you come forward, your shoulder blades slide apart from your back, circling around. You could do one arm at a time. You can do them together. You can reach your arms long if you like. Just paying attention to the range of motion here. It doesn't need to be the biggest range of motion you're capable of. Let's switch directions. So maybe hold back a little bit from that world's biggest stretch. And then we'll let the arms just fall down by the side and swing a little bit forward and back. You can let the elbows bend. Oh, you can smack the chair. And you can do one at a time. You can make it a little twist, just moving those arms around like that windsock, maybe, without getting too hot. So there might be circles, there might be swishes. And make it a little bit smaller and smaller, and we'll come back to the center. Sitting up tall again. Let's work on our hands. So we'll start with our nice soft fist, and we'll make some circles. And let's switch directions. We should have brought Brian in for this part, shouldn't we? Stretch the fingers out wide and then curl them in. Stretch them out and curl them in. 2 more times like that, stretching and then slowly curling them in. So taking up lots of space. and then no space. Let's add to that. We'll stretch them, make our claw and beak and fist. Stretch and claw and beak and fist. Once more, stretch and claw and beak and fist. Let's mix it up. Claw and stretch and beak and claw and stretch and fist and beak and claw and beak and fist and stretch and claw and stretch and fist. Pretty good. Let's close the eyes. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a perfect claw, it's okay. So close the eyes, claw, stretch, beak, claw, fist, beak, claw, fist, beak. I think we're done. Give them a little wiggle. Oh, it's got a little like a twitch in it or something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's stretch out those fingers, see if we can help it. Yeah. You start with the right hand. Fingers on that pinky finger, letting it gently stretch through the finger, through the palm and up into the arm. Let's move to the ring finger. This one always feels tighter. And then the middle finger. I think that ring finger just doesn't get any use, does it? Unless you're a pianist, it's sort of useless, I think. And then the index finger, or mine is useless. And then the thumb. So let's get some blood flowing to those knuckles, maybe just gently rubbing up each of those fingers. And if there's any knuckle in particular that's bothering you, you could spend a little bit more time there. Oh, I thought that was you cracking your fingers then. Oh, that's a good idea, putting some hand cream on to do it. Let's try the other hand. Pinky finger. And then the ring finger. And the middle finger. And the index. And then the thumb. And then getting your hand cream out if you have some. You can rub each knuckle. It's a really good idea, actually. And then those knuckles aren't behaving properly. You can give a little bit more attention. Our bodies do funny things, don't they, when we're least expecting it. A finger that won't move, a toe that's doing something, an eye that's twitching, a knuckle that's getting a bit of arthritis. Oh. Not too bad. Give them a little shake. And let's just move those fingers to tap towards the thumb. If you can't touch the thumb, that's okay. Just go towards it. Let's get that finger to behave itself. We will tame it. How appropriate, yes. Tap, 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 tap. See, we don't have to move very much to do this. Tap and tap, and then wiggle them again. Okay, since it's so warm, let's take some water or whatever beverage you've got there. Let's move our bodies a little bit. So we'll try to go slowly. Sometimes going slow isn't necessarily easier, but we'll just take lots of breaks. So let's take that right arm up and take a side bend over to the left. And come up through the center and take a side bend to the right, reaching up with that left hand. Let's come up through the center, over to the left again. We're going to pause here for a little bit. I want you to feel that stretch on the fingers all the way down through this side. So think of this right hip pushing towards the chair. And again, maybe play around with where your hand is pointed, because some people like to have it facing the front. I prefer to have mine facing down. It's not right or wrong, just notice that it might feel a little bit different. You're going to let that arm sweep down and across, and then come all the way up and over. Reaching down through that left side. Let's come up through the center. Interlace the fingers. If you can, turn the palms towards the ceiling. If that feels like too much, just keep the palms facing down. Let's take a couple of seated cat-cows here. As you exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the arms down, tucking the chin. And as you inhale, lifting up. Let's do that a couple of times. And lift. And once more. When you get to the top, we'll release the hands. We'll take a little twist to the left. Keeping the spine nice and long, turning the head a little bit. And keep that right hand on that knee. Sweep the other hand up and over. So a little bit of a side bend towards that corner. And bring the hand down to the knee and take a forward fold here. Slowly begin to lengthen. Let's sweep one arm up and behind like a backstroke. And then the other. And then we'll bring the hands back to the thighs. Take a couple of breaths here. And then this time we'll lift the left arm and take a side bend. Come up through the center, opposite way. Once more over to the right, reaching up with that left arm, taking a couple of breaths here. It might help to turn your chin, so you're looking down towards the floor. Then we'll let that arm sweep down, follow it around in a big circle, and coming up to the other side. And we'll slowly come up through the center, interlace the fingers, push the palms away, and fold. Inhale to lift. And as you exhale, fold forward. Let's do one more. Let's release the hands and take a twist to the right. Now release that right hand, sweep it up and over past the ear, taking the bend towards the opposite corner. And then bring that hand down to the knee and take that forward fold. Take a couple of breaths here. Slowly lengthen. Make a big circle with one arm up and around. And then the other. And then bring everything back to the circle. You can move those shoulders around a little bit. And let's focus on our feet. So let's just start by coming onto the balls of our feet. Lowering down and pulling the toes back towards the shins. And as you do that, just notice maybe you have more mobility in one ankle than the other. Lifting the heels and lifting the toes. I've definitely noticed that recently. For some reason, the angle I'm looking at your socks, I keep thinking it's Thomas the Tank Engine. Because of the colours and that little sort of diamond thing, it looks like it could be the face of Thomas. Yeah, I know, but it just looks like Thomas the Tank Engine from here. I can't help it. What can I say? What is my head doing? Yeah. And then let's switch. So we'll do one heel and one toe. And then switch. And switch. And switch. Oh, you've got a little anklet as well. You're so fancy today. Good. And then it's... That's true. Let's bring the feet to the floor and turn the toes in and then turn them out. So a little bit of rotation. Turn them in and turn them out. So the knees will move as well. And then come back to the center, and then we'll turn the heels out and then turn the heels in. Out and in. We're going to determine to move these ankles today. Good. And then let's just move the legs around a little bit. Ooh. Get those knees, get those cracks out of the knees. Talking me, we're missing Kathy today as well, aren't we?
No, I think first off, weather's gorgeous. So who knows if it is in the beach day? I think the daughter just got married.
Maybe.
I'm on Facebook, but I only go to check something, and I'll probably have flashbulbs.
Oh, okay. So this time when you lift, really think of lifting through the back of that leg, pushing through the heel, pulling those toes towards you, and then switching. Lift and lift. This time we'll lift the right leg and we'll leave it up there and we'll point and flex. And let's make some circles. So trying to keep the leg still, just circling, and the ankle. Let's try switching directions. And in honor of your socks, we'll write duck, duck, because duck isn't long enough. So duck, duck. Yeah, I know, but I thought that was too long then. Yeah, ducking. Okay. Bring it down, give it a little shake. Let's try the left leg. Point and flex a few times. Make some circles. Lots of clicking going on today. Switching directions. And so on this one, we're going to write Thomas because I think it looks like Thomas the Tank Engine. So Thomas, still only 6 letters. So let's do an extra 2 kisses for Thomas. He's everyone's favorite train. Bring it down and give it a little shake. And scoot forward just a tiny bit. And we'll stretch the legs out. So let's bring that right foot out to the front. Still thinking of pulling those toes towards you. Keep the spine nice and long. We'll take our forward fold here, stretching at the back of the leg. And then slowly lift. Bring the hands to the chair. I'm going to lift and lower that leg. It's a little bit hard, but we've got to keep some strength in these muscles. Yeah. Just till you begin to feel it getting tired. Feel it right in there. Well, maybe you can just do that for the next 20 minutes. And then lower it down. Let it move around a little bit. And then we'll try the other leg. Hinging forward, getting a little stretch at the back of the leg. And let's slowly lift. Bring the hands to the chair. Trying to keep everything still. We'll lift and lower. It might be easier on one leg than the other. I keep thinking I can hear someone humming, but I think it's the music.
Voices outside.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. And that's enough of that. Yeah, that's definitely enough. So let's bring the feet a little bit wider We're just going to let the knees rock to one side, look over that opposite shoulder, the opposite, and then to the other side. And let them just gently get a little bit of movement here, a bit of rotation. Exactly. I'm ready for my picture now. And then slowly bring everything back to the center, heel toe the feet in, and scoot back onto the chair. I'm going to take another sip of water. So sitting up nice and tall, finding that good posture again. The arms come down by the side. We'll do some sun salutations. So let's draw the shoulder blades. Don't think of drawing the shoulder blades towards each other, so you're squeezing them together. Think of them just gliding down, like the tips of the shoulder blades are just trying to reach down into your back pockets. That's a better way of thinking it than doing this. So inhale and lift the arms. So we're going to go really slowly, so that might mean you need to take some extra breaths. Folding forward. Coming into your flat back, so lifting the hands, lengthening that spine and the neck. Nice. Exhale and fold. Slowly lift and reach the arms up. Taking that extra breath when you need it, and then slowly lowering the arms. Take an extra breath when you get to the bottom. Let's do that once more. Lift and reach. And lower. Let's come up halfway. And fold. Inhale, lift and reach. This time we'll bring the hands together, lowering them down, front of the chest, relaxing the shoulders when you get there. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and we'll exhale to our cactus arms. So keep that spine nice and long and hinge forward, and then fold. We'll lift halfway, and fold. Inhale, lift and reach all the way up. And then come back to your cactus. We'll take some side bends. One side, and then the other. Let's do that once more to each side. Trying to keep the pelvis stuck to that chair as you make this side bend. Let the arms come down. Lift the chin and chest. Draw the elbows back for your cobra. Exhale, tuck the chin, tuck the tail, rounding the spine. Let's do that once more. Lift the chin and the chest. Draw the elbows back, draw the shoulder blades together. And then curling the spine the opposite way. Take a breath here. And slowly lengthen. We'll bring the hands back to heart center. Do one more sun salutation. Inhale, lifting the arms. Bring them to cactus. Keeping the spine long, hinge forward. And then fold. Lifting halfway. And fold. Inhale, lift and reach the arms up. Bring them back to cactus. This time we'll do some twists. So keeping the shape, use those muscles around your rib cage to turn to one side, through the center, and then to the other. If you remember, we played around a little bit with using the muscles in the back to help us make that turn. So think about the shoulder blade helping to pull you around. Don't try too hard though. And then come back. Lower the hands. Let's try that cobra again. Lift the chin and chest. Draw the elbows back. Exhale. Reach the arms forward. Really reach. Push those back ribs into the air behind you. Come back through the center. Lift the chin and the chest. Draw the elbows back. Let's release the hands behind like airplane. And then wrap everything forward. Bring the hands to the knees or bring your forearms to the thighs. Take a couple of breaths here. Slowly lengthen the spine. Let's take a break from the big movements and do a little bit more stretching. So let's stretch our arms out a little bit. We'll take that right arm out and then turn the palm down. And then bring the hand either to the palm or the fingers and stretch that arm out, keeping that shoulder down. Keep breathing. And then relax that, give it a little bit of movement. That reminded me of something. Let's bring the other arm out, turn it down. We haven't done serving the tea for a while. We haven't done anything for a while when the teacher disappears for a few weeks. And let's relax that arm down, move it around a little bit. Let's bring the feet a little bit wider into a little bit of external rotation there, if that's comfortable. I'm going to take the right arm out. You're still doing it?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Keep pushing down.
Sweep that arm across, catch it with the other arm. And let's turn the head to the right. Let's relax that. Move that shoulder around. And we'll try the other arm. So left arm out, sweep it across and catch hold of it with the other arm. Look over that left shoulder. And let's bring everything back to the center. Move that arm around a little bit. I'm going to do that a second time because we get a nicer stretch second time around. So let's sweep that right arm across, hook it. You could stay here, or if you want to try your eagle arms, you can try that. Maybe second time around that feels okay. That feels surprisingly good for me today, which I'm not usually very flexible there. Ooh. So if that's feeling nice, you could fold forward. If this doesn't work, stick with this original one or wrap the arms around and give yourself a hug. If you want to try that little forward fold wherever your arms are, letting those shoulder blades slide apart a little. And slowly lift up. Release the hands if you have them bound. Release those arms out wide. Ooh, move them around. So we can try the other side. So remember, one shoulder might be very different than the other. So let's start with the one we all know and love, just hugging that in. So you can stick with this. You could hug yourself, or you can try eagle on this side, which is not quite as good on this side for me. Yeah, that's kind of like, thankfully I have that, yeah. But it does give you a nice stretch across the back of the shoulders. So if you can find some, yeah, just that is fine. Or just do it this way, working the hands a little bit further back and maybe taking that forward fold. I'll slowly lift. Unwind, let's move those shoulders around. That was definitely a very different feeling on that side. No, it's not supposed to hurt. I mean, sometimes an intense stretch feels intense, but it shouldn't be pain. There's a difference between effort, stretching, and pain. And yeah, your body's telling you something then. It's saying, stop. All right, let's, I'm going to have another drink. You okay?
Oh, we do.
Let's try to use our brains. Okay, so we're going to start out in front and then down, right? In front and down. We can all manage that. Once more. Now we're going to add to it. We're going to go across first. Across, across, in front, and down. Easy. Across, in front. Once more. Across, across, front, and down. Now we're going to add the tap to the head. Remember, it's just a tap. Don't go too hard. Okay, so we'll start with the head. Tap, tap. Across, in front, and down. Head. Across, in front, and down. Once more. Head, head. Across, across, in front. A little bit faster. Head, head. Across, across, in front, and down. Good. So we're going to add one more thing. We're going to add the hand coming to the opposite leg. So if you want to be really fancy, you can try lifting that leg towards it. But I think it's enough, personally, just to get my hand moving without thinking about the other leg. But if you really want to try that, so we're going to start with the leg, 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 head, across, in front, and down, leg. Saw that? Head, across, across, in front, a little bit faster, leg, leg, head, head, across, across. Once more faster, head, leg, head, head, across, across, in front, and down. That was pretty good. I think it helps me, to be honest. But when you go faster, you tend to slap your head a bit harder. You know? That was pretty good, actually. What can I say? My lips are sealed. Just, we managed it, everyone. Maybe it's Laura. We'll blame her when she's here next week. We'll do exactly the same thing. If I can remember the same thing, that's part of the trouble, to do the same thing. So while we were moving our shoulders around, I thought we hadn't actually done serving the tea for ages, if we can remember that. So let's start here, and we kind of sweep it around, and out, lift it up, and then sweep it around and come back to the center. Let's do that again. Something like that. Good. Then we'll add the second part. So sweep around, lift it up, bring it around, and then turn it in, reach it back. Oh, that's a big stretch. And then go backwards or whatever. Just keep it a nice gradual movement, like a big spiral around. If you don't think about it too much, it doesn't seem so bad, does it? No, not today. And then give that little shake. Let's try the other arm. So sweeping around first. So let's break it down for the people at home who maybe someone hasn't done this before. So we start by sweeping out and then bringing it back. So we're serving our tea and bringing it back. Then we serve the tea and lift it and turn it, pour over our head usually, and then bring it down and around. So out and up, turn that wrist and bring it down. Don't try this at home with China. Up and around, we're going to add to it now. We're going to bring it down, back to the beginning, and then turn that hand in and reach it back. Ooh. And then we're back to the beginning. Out to the side, lift it up and around, sweep it down. This shoulder is not very happy. Let's do it once more. That internal rotation is quite hard. It's a big movement, and then bring it down. Obviously, if we were holding a cup in our hand, it would have been long gone, right? But it's the thought of moving our shoulder in lots of different directions. probably not exactly the right T movement anyway. Let's move our arms around a little bit. No, maybe in a previous life, you never know. Let's do a little bit of core work. And let's bring our arms to our I Dream of Jeannie arms. And so you don't have to take hold of your elbows. You can slide them a little bit wider so your shoulders are nice and wide. Pull everything in. Now remember, we're trying to squeeze the ribs together, squeeze the hip bones together, and pull the belly in. So we're going to lean back, and as you exhale, pull all those muscles around. Inhale back. Exhale. Drop your right shoulder, Carolyn. Inhale back. Exhale. So can you feel that work and pulling you a little bit there? Let's do once more. And then relax the arms down. Just let them move a little bit around side to side. Take a little helicopter. Let's turn to the side and just stretch out that thigh a little bit. So let the left leg drop towards the floor, holding on to the chair with the right hand. Just let that leg relax down. I'm not going to do any arm movements, just finding some space in that left hip, taking the crease out of the front of the hip. Take 2 more breaths here. And then we'll slide that leg in and we'll slide it out to the side, taking your triangle. So nice long spine as you hinge toward that extended leg. And let's slowly lift up. Move that leg around a little bit. Just let it rotate in that hip socket. So whatever movement you want to do, you could keep the foot on the floor, just maybe circle it, get those hips moving. And then we'll keep hold of the chair and slowly work our way around to the other side. We'll do the same thing here. Hold on to the back of the chair with the left hand. Let that right knee reach towards the floor. We'll just let gravity help us here, taking a nice long stretch with that leg. And let's bring everything in and then slide that leg out to the side. Heels on the floor, the toes are reaching back, hinging towards that right leg. So as we're taking this, in fact, come back up. So we do a lot of side bending in yoga, right? We're making one side shorter and the other side longer. In triangle, we're actually trying to not side bend. We're trying to keep the distance from our armpit to our hip the same on both sides, which means it's a longer spine underneath. So this side waist on the right, we're trying to keep long. We're trying if we can. That gives us our triangle rather than, so it's a triangle, not a pizza slice. Think of it that way. Pizza slice sounds pretty good right now, doesn't it? Let's slowly lift up. And we'll move this leg around a little bit. So either making circles or just rotating it in and out. And just notice if it feels different than the other hip, which I'm sure it does. Yeah. Let's come back through the center. Let's come back to our Hanuman Asana pose, which is when we have our leg lengthened, heels on the floor, hands on that left thigh and hinge forward. Slowly lengthen. From here, we're going to bring this leg in and bring it over our thigh. So if you're at home and you don't want to bring it to your thigh, you could put it just to the floor or to a block or a book or a footstool. If you can get it to your thigh, we'll do that. Keep this foot flexed. And it might feel good just to stop here. That may already feel like a stretch, which it does today. Now let's just let that hip relax a little bit and then we might be able to move. So if it feels good, you can hinge forward a little bit. I think I'm not moving today, but if you can hinge forward, I don't know why. This is usually my good hip as well. Like, it's not up there. Something just moved. Sometimes I feel that there's a tendon that's kind of stuck and then it rolls over. It's like, oh, now it's where it's supposed to be. That's a little bit nicer. Just remember, things feel different day to day, week to week, hour to hour, right? How you feel now compared to when you first got up might be different. Let's slowly lengthen. Unwind that leg. Give it that little bit of movement again. Let's try the other leg. We'll start with our Hanumanasana, lengthening the back of the leg and hinging forward. Begin to lengthen. Bringing that leg in either to the floor, to something a little higher than the floor, or onto your thigh. And remember, it might feel very different than the other side. So you can stay here, feeling that stretch, maybe in your outer thigh, maybe in your inner thigh sometimes. Or you can take a little hinge forward. And when you feel that resistance, ease off. Take a couple of breaths. Slowly lengthen, unwind that leg, let it move around a little bit. Get to a comfortable position in our chairs. Let's just move the head a little bit. So we'll make some gentle circles up and around one way a couple of times. And then we'll switch directions. Moving the shoulders a little bit. Taking any last movements you want to take before you can sit comfortably for your Shavasana. And when you're ready for that, we'll bring the hands to the thighs, bring the elbows back so your shoulders are nice and relaxed, and we'll close the eyes and drop the chin. And come back to that sensation of the body as it's breathing. Focusing on one breath at a time. Relaxing the forehead, the cheekbones, and the jaw. The back of the neck, the shoulders, past the shoulder blades, all the way down to the waist. Softening the throat, the chest, and the belly. Feeling the heaviness in your arms, down to your wrists and your fingers. Feeling the back of your legs against the chair, the weight of your hands on your thighs, letting the legs be heavy, past the knees, all the way down to the soles of your feet, to your toes. Each time you exhale, feel a little heavier, sinking a little deeper. Letting each exhale help you relax a little more. One breath at a time. And then begin to focus more on your inhale. Imagine it lifting you and you becoming lighter. Each breath in is rejuvenating and freeing. Introduce some small movements, starting with your fingers and your toes, the wrists and the ankles, keeping that sense of lightness as you move the arms, stretching out the legs. And it might feel good to take a big stretch overhead. And when you're ready, we'll sit up nice and tall and bring the hands to the heart. Take a deep breath in and relax. So we're always grateful to have this beautiful space to come together, and I really appreciate seeing everyone every week. And we are missing some of our dear friends who have not been able to join us for a while, but we got a little peek of them today. And for those of you who we haven't seen for a while, we hope to see you soon and hope everyone can stay well and stay cool. Namaste. Thank you.